Good evening, Interworld. Sergeant Slack here from Banana Bun Productions. We're back in World of Warcraft and we're on my warrior sesquipedal. And what we're going to do today is a look at what you should do when you hit level 90. First thing you want to do is fly out here to the Shrine of the Two Moons. You will get a flight path when you hit 90, so you can fly right over. First thing you do when you land, come over to Skywalker Shun, who will train your flying with you, which is Wisdom of the Four Winds, allows you to ride flying mounts in Pandaria. So once you've done that, I suggest that you come inside the Shrine of the Two Moons here. Now you can fly, it should be quicker. Come inside the Shrine of the Two Moons and you want to go upstairs. So you have to run around in here, there's no mounts, which is slightly annoying. But if you come in here, you go to the right, you go through the transmog area, the Hall of Secrets. And then you go through the Imperial Mercantile, which has got portals back to everywhere. It's got Thunderbluff, Orgrimmar, Undercity, Silvermoon. On the back, you've got Dala and Shattrath. Now, if you come upstairs, don't be tempted. If you come up here through the Keggery into the Hall of the Crescent Moon, and then set your Hearthstone with Brewmaster Sky, because this will give you a nice, easy way to teleport back, and then you can use all these portals here in the Imperial Mercantile. Next thing I suggest you do is pop back to Orgrimmar. Once you get to Orgrimmar, if you've not already done this, come over here from the portal that located here in the Valley of Honor. And if you come over to here, you will find Turtle Master Odai. Now she sells the Hojin Tabard, which is the only tabard in game, as you can see here, that you champion the cause of the Hojin Pandaran. All rep gains while in dungeons will be applied to your standing with them. So grab one of those, because as you go through, you can actually grab one of those at level 85 and start your rep grind with them then. And what you'll be able to buy with the Hoji Pandaren when you do it is one of these turtle mounts. So there's a brown one, there's a black one, there's a blue one, sorry, there's a black one, and there's a purple one. So that'll give you rep gains. When you're exalted with them, you can buy one of their mounts. So this is what the tabard looks like. It's got a bit of a Pandaria related horde symbol, because this is the horde faction of the Pandarans. Okay, so the next thing I suggest you do is get your Lore Walker Web grind underway. This takes about an hour, and at the end of it you end up with this funky little flying red cloud mount. I don't know why it's called a red cloud mount, because if you ask me, it looks more blue than red. But whatever. It's a quick way to get one of the new Mists of Pandaria mounts. It looks pretty damn cool. You're sort of on this flying sort of thing with a cloud underneath. And I like it, and if you want to know how to do it, then check out my video here. You can't stop him from talking. He just goes on. Yeah, I do. I wield a sword. Yeah, you're a panda. Yeah, spectacular show. So, you're level 90, you've got your flying, you've got your funky Lore Walkers mount. What next? Well, now it's time to gear up, and there's several ways to do this. First thing I did as a melee warrior was to jump into this scenario called the Arena of Annihilation, because in this one you get a give me specifics. Arena of Annihilation, this one here. In there you get a quest which gives you a nice 450 eye level blue two-hander to start your grind with. Now, the next way to gear up, the next best way is doing dungeons and heroics. So, for this, I think you need an overall eye level of around 450 to start doing the heroics. Of course, it doesn't tell you in here, but that's basically what you need. And then once you can start doing heroics, you will, of course, if you do the randoms, get an extra 30 valor points per day. And these things stack up quite quickly, to be honest. I have not been having any trouble with that so far. Now, there's four main factions that you want to get your gear from. They are the Golden Lotus, the Klaxi, the August Celestials, and the Shadowpan. Now, the Golden Lotus and the Klaxi are the only ones available to you at first, because you need to hit Revered with the Golden Lotus before you can unlock the dailies for the August Celestials and the Shadowpan. So, gear-wise, you want to hit up Golden Lotus straight away, and then you want to hit up Klaxi straight away. Now, both of these have lead-on quests, which you needed to complete while you were questing. The Golden Lotus have a lead-on quest here at the Temple of White Tiger, which brings you down here and into the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. Now, if you're in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms here, and there aren't people around, and there aren't people stood at the Golden Pagoda, you haven't done the lead-on quest, you need to go back and do that. Now, the Claxey's lead-on quest is down here into the Dread Wastes, and it'll unlock the daily quest hub at Claxey Vest actually before you hit 90. The next thing to do is come down here in the Shrine of the Two Moons to the Golden Terrace. Now, inside the Golden Terrace, you have people like the August Celestials Quartermaster. Now, the August Celestials don't have a quest hub as such. What you do is when you've got your revered rep with Golden Lotus, you come down here, you ask how they will help, and it'll tell you where you can go. This is just the standard one because I don't yet have the revered rep. Next to her, you have Wing the Merciful from the Golden Lotus. He will give you a lead on quest to head over here to the Golden Pagoda and start your rep grind with them. Next up, we have Sangbo of the Shadow Pan. Now again, he won't give you anything because you've got to complete a quest to hit revered with the Golden Lotus before you can move on and start on your Shadow Pan rep. Next up, we have Elder Liao, who is a charm maker. He will give you a quest to collect 62... no, I've got 62. To collect 90 of these Lesser Charm of Good Fortune. Now, these are collected when you're doing your dailies. They will be offered to you as well as like 5 Valor points for completing a daily quest. Challenger Wooly here will give you a daily challenge with the challenge dungeons. And this gives you like... gives you rewards of some cool mounts if you manage to get one of these tokens, Red Phoenix Egg, and it'll give you some transmog gear which you can use to apply to your character to show off that you've completed the challenge modes. This is the only way you get the gear that looks like this in the game, is by completing the challenge modes and then buying stuff up them. Over here we have Way Lake Breeze, who will give you a lead on quest to go out to where the Cloud Serpents do their dailies and start your rep grind here. Shout out to Brewmaster Lynchy over here, who was going to be the Quartermaster for the Brewmasters, but at the last moment they were removed from the beta and they're no longer a faction. The Tillers, of course, you can start at level 86 on your farm with the Tillers in Half Hill, and you can grind your rep up starting from there. If not, and Farmhand Duca here will give you a lead on quest out to there. And last but not least, we have Master Angler Karu, who's from the Anglers and will give you a lead on quest out to the Anglers. So now I'm going to fly around the world and I'm going to visit all these quest hubs and give you an idea as to what you'll be getting yourself in for with the rep grind. Dancing in a fountain, dancing in a fountain, I'm gonna have a dance in this fountain here. Woo! First up, while we're in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, we're going to head down here to the Golden Pagoda. Now remember, if you don't see people here, then it's because you haven't done the lead-on quest at the White Temple. So down here you pick up 4 of them. I mean, this is your typical example of daily. 2 Lesser Charm of Good Fortune and 5 Valor points. And this actual quest hub with the Golden Lotus has multiple layers. You do this first lot of 5 quests, then I think you do another 3 or 4 quests. Oh, my quest log is full. Then you do another 3 or 4, and finally it ends with one to go and kill a rare elite somewhere in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. So, when you do your final quest of the day with the Golden Lotus, you will receive, it's usually to kill a big rare elite, well, not a rare elite, but a big elite. You will receive Treasure the Veil. Now, usually these are rubbish, but every now and again, you get a good one. So this one's got 23 gold, Greater Pandaran Banquet, Spirit of Harmony, and a dual crafting design, because I'm a dual crafter, which gives me the Jade Owl. So, some of the useful things you can get in doing your rep as well. Yeah. So the rep rewards you can get with the Golden Lotus at Honoured, you get recipes for tailoring and leatherworking, which is always good to know. And at Revered, you get Valor Point Shoulder and Valor Point Chest. They're both epics. And at Exalted, as is the standard across most of these factions in MOP, you get a mount and a vanity tabard. Like I've said, the only tabard that actually earns you rep is the Hojin tabard, and all the other tabards that you get at Exalted along with the mounts are just vanity items. Look, it's clearly got a blue trail, so why is it the red flying cloud? It's got a blue trail. The fuck? Next up, we have the Claxi. They are located in the Dread Wastes here at Claxives. This is again another kind of dailies quest hub that you can do. There is an extra farmable daily that you can do here where you collect these Dread Amber Shards where you slay things in a certain part of the Dread Waste, and you get an extra completable hand in here, so with the Quartermaster, so you can actually farm those up. You need 20 of them at a time. So what do you get from the Claxi? Well, with the Claxi, you get honoured, you get blacksmithing recipes, very good if you're a blacksmith, not much use if you're not, and you get a Valor Point neck at honoured. At revered, you get the Valor Point legs here. Yeah, and then at exalted, you get some of the weapons that are quite good, and you also get the Reins of the Amber Scorpion as a mount, and of course a Claxi Vanity Tabard. A nice little thing is you also get two of these buffs. You get a Claxi Augmentation and you get a Claxi Enhancement, which allows you to kill things generally a bit quicker here in the Dread Wastes, which is kind of useful.
Presumably these are the people who sort of like get realm first and server first. This is their fate.
Now, at some point, you will receive a mysterious note, and this will give you a lead on to a quest called Stranger in a Strange Land, to go and seek out Rathian, who is the Black Prince. Now, he has his own faction now in Mists of Pandaria. This is, of course, Deathwing's offspring, and this is located at the Tavern of the Mists, which is kind of just above Valley of the Four Winds. And yeah, he gives you a lead-on quest. It's important to get this done now, because as you're leveling with the Golden Lotus, you will also be accruing rep with Rathian and his faction, and this will eventually terminate in some kind of legendary weapon quest line. Oh, he just bled on the floor. Also important to note, if you go into the back of the temple, you will actually have the closest thing to the old vendors that you used to have in Cataclysm. In the back, you've got Commander Loping, who must have the best latency of anyone in this game. So here, you can buy all of your Justice Points gear, which is now, it used to be that Justice Point gear would come on to, you had to get honoured with the faction, but Blizzard thankfully relented and rolled that back pretty quickly on October the 2nd. So now you can come here, and you can spend your Justice Points, and you can get all your funky little trinkets and all the things that are available to you without rep requirements. Next to him you have Commander Oxheart, and Commander Oxheart gives you one centralized point to come and buy your Valor Point items. It is important to note that you do still have, like, this stuff requires August Celestials Revered, which I don't have as a rep requirement, so I can't buy any of this stuff, but they're located here at the back of the temple. And they give you, this is the closest thing you've got to the old vendors in Cataclysm. You can come here and buy your stuff, but you still need to do your rep grind elsewhere. So, this is Sergeant Slack from Bonarabon Productions, saying thanks very much for watching my level 90 What Now guide. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something. Get out there and grind that rep. Comment, like, subscribe if you did, and I will catch you soon.